welcome to my channel, A Book Forest. My name is Kim and today I'm going to be doing my April TBR. I'm a bit late, we're already well into the month of April. But March was crazy and I didn't have time to do any videos last week. I'm kind of looking forward to my April TBR, but also I'm kind of tired. So we'll see how far I get with it. Hopefully I can rally up. Nothing serious. It's just, sometimes there's a month that everything happens at once. So the first book I'm gonna read is She-Wolves by Helen Castor. It's for Historathon, so I can only manage one book per quarter. So last quarter I read Praetorian. I am gonna do a review of this. I didn't have time yet, but hopefully soon. And then She-Wolves is during the medieval time. So it really looks at 4 women that ruled England before the first Queen of England, Mary. Those women were wives or mothers of kings, and for some reason they ended up in the hot seat, and they were a bit vilified by historians, probably because they were women. So we have Eleanor of Aquitaine, who is a special favorite of mine. We have Isabella of France, La Louve de France, who was during the reign of Edward I, the Longshanks, and her husband was Edward II, his son, if you've seen Braveheart. Then you have Margaret of Anjou, so French queen married to Henry VI, I think. And also Empress Matilda, who was before all of them, who was the daughter of King Henry I, and he named her Hair, but she was a woman, so it didn't end up happening. And it's funny because I highly suspect that George R.R. Martin took her story to do what ended up being House of the Dragons, because I just finished Fire and Blood, and the Rhaenyra storyline very, very similar. I am familiar with all of these women, but I haven't read their history. Margaret of Anjou is the one I know least about. But I really looking forward to Helen Castor's history book. I think she's well respected as a historian, and that's why I wanted to see her take on it. Then I am gonna pick up You Are Here by David Nichols. It's an impulse read. I wanted some kind of a lighter read, maybe a romance, and I was attracted to the description of this book. It's about 2 people who were married to apparently horrible people who left them in the cold, and they're kind of not feeling good, and they don't want to see anyone, and they don't want to date for sure. They're a bit traumatized, and they end up on this hike, a 10-day hike in England together for some reason. I don't know what the reason is, and probably fall in love over that hike. I love it. I love hiking, especially in England. It's beautiful, and I'm looking forward to see what he does with that. And I didn't know David Nichols at all, so we'll see. Then I have my Agatha Christie project this year. I want to read one Miss Marple book each month, because there's 12 of them, so that fits perfectly. And for April, it's A Murder Is Announced. I'm reading them in publication order. So A Murder Is Announced, I think, is Miss Marple is somewhere already, she is already on site, which I'm looking forward to, because I like when she's in the picture. Some of the books she comes in later, and I prefer when she's there right away. And there's an advertisement in the newspaper saying a murder will be committed at this location at this time. so it's very weird. It seems like a bad joke at first. So everyone, of course, it's a village. It's set in a village in England, and everyone is kind of nosy. So they're probably gonna end up in the said location at said time, and I dare say probably a murder will happen. Um, I don't. I think I've read this before, like ages ago. I think we'll see. I might have read it, but I don't remember much. And I love those lovely covers. This collection is lovely. All right, so my last book would be, I want to continue on with some series. Like, I'm trying to not have too many ongoing series at once. I have too many right now, so I'm gonna link the video below where I talk about my series that I have ongoing. And so I have this duology. I read the first book, The Miniaturist, last year, and this is the sequel, The House of Fortune. I didn't know there was a sequel, but apparently there is. So it's set in a few years after the first book. There's still this. It's set in the 17th century Amsterdam, in a family of merchants. The first book was following Nella, who was a newlywed coming into that family, like an arranged marriage. And there was a lot of mystery going on, and there was a bit of magical realism, I would call it. It's not necessarily my favorite type of book, the magical realism, but since it's set more in a historical fiction kind of way, I like it. So there's this person who creates dollhouses. Like, the Nella receives a dollhouse as a gift when she arrives, and there's changes that happen in the dollhouse, like new stuff coming in, or characters, things that reflect reality, like reflect what happens in the real world, but we don't know it. And this follows the daughter of one of the characters in the first book, which, I'm really intrigued. I don't know what they're gonna, like, I thought the first book was kind of all resolved in one. So I will read it. I'll see if it was necessary to write a second book, or if she just did it because it was really popular. I usually don't like when an author does a sequel that was not planned because the first book was so popular. It's kind of, it never does give a good result, but maybe she had planned it all along, so we'll see. So this is my little April TBR. Oh, and I also started kind of a reread of Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, on audiobook, narrated by Andy Serkis. It was not planned, but I needed an audiobook, and I was like, oh, a reread would be perfect, and I love The Lord of the Rings, so I already did The Hobbit and The Silmarillion with the same narrator, and so far The Hobbit is my favorite. So yeah, let me know what you're reading in April, or if you've read any of the books I mentioned, and see you next time.